And we are now recording. And I only saw one person get removed, so there we go. Now you can call the meeting to order, Elizabeth, and we do have to decide who's going to scratch notes. I don't mind doing that.
I don't mind doing that. I think more than one person should do it.
Okay.
So
Why don't you and I do it like we did last time? And
okay.
We'll just keep it that way. So go ahead. You can call us to order.
I am calling this meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. on Monday, June 15th. This is a meeting of the Mount Ascutney School District. I would like to keep the people who wish to comment limited to our staff, people who live in the district, Windsor alum, all will be the highest priority, and families, families in the district, all will be the highest priority, and then supervisory union will be, if we have time, we'll get to people who live in the supervisory union. There will be a 2-minute limit to comments here. You'll get a 30-second warning before the end of your 2 minutes, and then you'll be asked to end your comment. This is a time for, please, when you begin your comment, please identify yourself and your affiliation with this discussion, whether it's address or employment, affiliation, whatever. And please limit this to comments only. The board will not take questions at this time, nor will the board members be responding to comments at this time. So this is just for you to have your say, but every bit of it is important. So please know that as we go into this. Okay.
One last thing. If people who are not speaking could mute their microphones, we won't get that. We won't get that feedback.
I'm going to call on you according to how my screen sees you. And as such, the first up is, it looks like Zach Husband. Are you a member of this district?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Kelsey O'Connor. Zach Husband is my husband. Yes, we are Windsor residents, and our daughter will be entering kindergarten at State Street Elementary in the fall.
Do you have something that you'd like to say?
Just simply that Ms. Riley's most recent comments have left both my husband and I feeling uncomfortable with her position as a leader in the school. And we were fully in support of the school board's last decision to place her on leave. So we're just here to voice support for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. The next person that I have on my screen is Jennifer Meager. Jennifer, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry, this is my first time with Google Meet.
Okay. Is there something you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I think I've expressed myself to the board sufficiently and to Dr. Baker, and we can address those at a later date. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Bear with me. Okay. Next, I have a person with a telephone number that ends in the digits 96. There, a person on the phone, a caller with the telephone number 96. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Okay. Next, I have Amanda Smith. Do you have something that you'd like to say?
I would like to yield my 2 minutes over to Jessica Davis, if possible, so that she could have at least 4 minutes to speak, because what she has to say is very important.
Okay. Did you get that, Bill? Okay. The next person that I have on my screen is Daniel Wartz. Daniel, do you have anything that you'd like to say? If not, just don't unmute yourself. It's fine. Okay. Jessica Davis, you are the next on my screen.
Hi. So I don't do public speaking very well, so I took the time to write down my comment, and I appreciate the extra 2 minutes, Amanda. Thank you. So if everyone can bear with me and my nerves in front of people, I will get to it. Good evening. My name is Jessica Davis. I have lived in Windsor for 20 of my 32 years alive, grew up attending Windsor High School and Hartford Area Career and Tech Center, have worked at numerous Windsor establishments, and am the proud mother of 2 boys, one of which who attends Windsor State Street School. I have great ties to this community and was involved in the organization of this year's Easter Basket Drive for Children in Need at the Windsor Common, as well as contributing to the Standing Up for Racial Justice rally held this month at the Common. My son James is a very typical boy who had some very unique challenges his last couple of years, both inside the school and outside of the school. We had noticed back in 2016 that his growth had stopped progressing, his water intake was vastly larger than what a child his size should need, and that he was starting to struggle in school. We began the daunting task of bringing him to multiple doctors and specialists to try to narrow down the root of the changes that had started taking over his life. They had really gotten almost unmanageable this school year. I kept in close contact with Destiny Lawyer, my son's English teacher, as she has noticed the changes in him as well. We were told after seeing a urologist at DHMC that my son's bladder was twice the size it should be, and told in nephrology that he had damage to his right kidney. His PCP also diagnosed him with obsessive compulsive disorder because she was convinced that his drinking was a compulsion. After these appointments, I informed the school nurse, Mrs. Martins, of all of his meds and diagnoses. I spoke with Ms. Deschamps about setting up a meeting for a 401 plan for him. I spoke with Destiny Lawyer about encouraging frequent bathroom breaks per request of his urologist to prevent a possible Hinman syndrome diagnosis later on the road that would leave him with a catheter for the rest of his life. I've spoken with Ms. Mulligan to offer him support at school, as well as enrolling him in the We Are Hope program at the school to manage his anxiety. Early this year, my 12-year-old son came home on the verge of tears, telling me that a specific child who has relentlessly bullied him for 4 years had told him in front of his friends in class that my son was damaged, and that if he was my son, he would, I quote, climb the Empire Building and jump off because you need to just kill yourself. I was beside myself. Not a single person from the school had made contact with me or even acknowledged that my child has mental health diagnoses, as well as multiple possibilities for his physical symptoms. For anyone who doesn't understand the weight of words like these, I urge you to look into the case of Jackson Eisenberg in Manchester, New Hampshire in 2018. Jackson was a 12-year-old boy with high-functioning autism who was told by a bully at school that he should just go kill himself. Jackson's parents were also never notified of the incident at school, even though there were witnesses that worked for the school that separated the boys, and he went home that night and hung himself. That family lost their child forever because of the same words that were spoken to my child in his school. To say that I was furious is an understatement. I immediately called and left a message for Tiffany Riley before 4:00 p.m. The next day I waited and got no call back. I emailed Destiny Lawyer, who told me that she was aware of the incident and had sent both boys down to the office to meet with the administrators. She was very upset they did not notify me. I again called and left another message for Tiffany, who did not end up calling me back until 3 days after the incident. She said that she had spoken to the boys and that she would keep an eye on them and their interactions. That was it. There was no repercussion for the student who taunted my son. There was no apology for taking so long to respond. There was no plan for how to handle the situation should it arise again. And mind you, the school is very aware of that particular student and the tormentation that he has caused my child in the 4 years, because they have incidents on record from them both being sent into the office or myself going in and speaking to the administrators. Furious, I hung up and called Dr. Baker. His response was that he agreed that I should have been contacted about the incident, but the administration had simply dropped the ball. When I questioned further, asking about how to ensure this wouldn't happen again, he assured me the other child would be moved out of my son's class to create space between them. That, in fact, never happened. I asked him what would have happened if my child, who was going through a great deal of medical misfortune, had come home and actually killed himself. He got, in my opinion, snarky and defensive, telling me that the school would not be liable for it and that we didn't need to worry because it's not what happened. I told him I would be happy to consult legal advice in regards to that if needed. I was so disgusted that I asked him who I should speak to that was higher up than him. His response was to contact the school board. I had every intention of doing that, but my son's health started to take a rapid decline and we had to have him admitted to Dartmouth-Hitchcock. After 2 days in the hospital, my child was diagnosed with a very rare hormonal imbalance called diabetes insipidus. His brain does not produce the hormone his body needs to properly manage his fluids.
I'm sorry. I dropped the ball on that one. I warned you, about the time, but I didn't unmute myself. So I apologize for that.
That's okay. Jessica, you almost there?
I can forward. Yeah, I'm almost there. I can forward the rest to the union if you guys would like to see the full statement.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be, and then you could also make it part of the record too.
Perhaps someone else would yield their time because she does have something about racial injustice in the school to say, and maybe everyone on the
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Jess has my time.
If Jessica, you're almost done, feel free, keep going.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Let me just find my place again.
You're talking about your son's diabetes encephalus?
Yeah.
He had been diagnosed with the diabetes insipidus, yes. His brain does not produce the hormone his body needs to properly manage his fluids, which resulted in his stunted growth, damaged kidney, and high liquid intake and output. When we were released, it was the Thursday before school shut down due to COVID the following Tuesday. My son is now doing much better, that he has had the right medications and can feel safe learning from home. He has experienced so much hate in that school, not only towards himself, but other children. His overall well-being is honestly my biggest concern as his mother, not the politics or negligence of the school and its administration. However, I still feel it is important to put his story out there so that people can understand the problems that Windsor School have been having and have been either mishandled or neglected for too long. My son was also very distraught in 2017 when he came home and told me that another student was in the bathroom calling a child of color in his class the N-word and laughing at him. It was a mortifying thing to hear coming out of a fourth grader's mouth. And as upset as I was that my child had to witness that kind of hate and racism in his school, I knew deep down that it couldn't possibly compare to the heartache that tormented student and his family felt. I think it is important for people to tell their stories. It's important for the community to know that incidents like these happen far too often and get brushed under the rug. I don't know if I will have my child enroll in Windsor this fall if changes can't be implemented to educate and reform students of their effect and their actions of their words and such to other children. The student who bullies my child takes the suspensions at this point like vacations because they aren't being taught anything from them other than that they get a day off from school. If he was learning anything, he wouldn't be continuing to spew his anger and hatred into the world and at other children. I want you to know that I stand by the school board's decision to remove Tiffany as the principal of Windsor Schools. Change has to start somewhere, and it will be very uncomfortable to many, but it is necessary in ensuring that our children are safe when they are at school.
Jessica, did you mention what grade your son is in? Did you mention what grade your son is
My
in?
son is in 6th grade. He's going to be going into 6th. Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't hear that part, but that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you telling that story.
And again, just quickly, because you wrote it out, Jessica, feel free to forward it. We can make it part of the record, part of the minutes.
Okay. Elizabeth, should I forward that to you?
That would be really helpful. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, the next on my screen is Davis McGraw. Do you have something that you'd like to say? Okay, all right.
You're all set. Okay.
Okay, next I have a telephone caller whose telephone number ends with the numbers 72. 72? Do you have something you'd like to say?
By the way, if you're on the phone, you can unmute by *6. *6 will unmute you. And the other thing too is Daniel Wirtz. I thought I saw a comment from Daniel. He's on the phone also, and we gave him some time to unmute, but I think he does have a comment if you want to go back to him at some point.
Okay, Daniel Wirtz, would you like to say something?
Hello, I think I unmuted myself now.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, what I'm saying here is only specifically on the basis of Principal Riley's Facebook post. I live in Windsor. My wife and I have a house off a county road, and we have a baby on the way.
Okay.
Jessica, your situation sounds quite sad and tragic, and I had a 504 plan myself through school, missed darn near half of my 8th grade year, and still live with 2 autoimmune conditions to this day. But that's just to say that nothing I'm about to say is has anything to do with any actions of the principal or the school board with regard to your situation, because I honestly know nothing about it. So this is exclusively about her Facebook post. My wife and I read it in full and honestly don't see how it could possibly be construed as racist. Everything she stated seemed to be perfectly factually accurate. And to me, it feels very Orwellian to oust her on the basis of this sort of wrongthink against the accepted ideological narrative. It feels like a bit of a canary in the coal mine event that shows that, again, if this is exclusively on the basis of the Facebook post, that the district itself is not necessarily committed to what should be the chief core value of any educational institution, which is vigorous challenging of ideas, conventional or otherwise, through critical thinking and open, honest, good faith discourse to get to what would be the ultimate truth and ideal policy for all. I think she was correct to state that there are legitimate criticisms that you can lay on the Black Lives Matter movement itself, and that it is not mutually exclusive to hold those criticisms while at the same time truly caring for the life of every person, be it in the school district, the state, or the planet itself. I also took some issue to the Mount Ascutney School Board's open letter, which stated...
I'm sorry, Mr. Wirtz. Bill, where is he with time? I see you trying to tell him something.
He's over.
Yep, no problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on my screen, thank you very much, Mr. Wirtz. I appreciate you talking with us. And if you have that written down, please feel free to email it to me and we'll get it entered into the record. Okay?
I will share this in a much more cognizant follow-up letter.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Appreciate you listening.
James Reed, you are the next person on my screen.
I gave my time to Jessica, so I will pass for the next person.
Okay. Let's see. I've got 15 more people over here. They look like they are predominantly on the phone. Okay. I've got a 518 telephone number. 518 caller, are you from our district? Okay. The next I have is an 802 number ending in 28. Caller ending in 28, do you have anything you'd like to say? *6. This is it. Okay. Next one is an 802 number ending in 72. Okay. And next I've got an 802 number ending in 82. 802 ending in 82. Is there anything that you'd like to add if you are a Windsor or Mount Ascutney School District affiliate. Okay. Next, I have Alyssa Hebert. Alyssa, do you have something that you'd like to say? Okay. Amanda Yates.
Thanks. I'm just here as the school board rep.
Okay. Okay, and where did you log? Okay. No, Colin Moon. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Let's see. Heather Findlay. Do you have something you'd like to add? Okay. Let's see. I think we got James Reed already. Did we not? Let's see. Jennifer Aldrich.
I'm just here to listen.
Okay. These things keep. I apologize because there have been some people floating around my screen. So let me know if I don't get to you, please. Catherine Allen, you are the next person on my screen. Okay. And thank you. Kathy Briand Moon, forgive me if I mispronounced your middle name. I apologize. Okay. Lisa Taft. Thank you for the text. Lisa Taft, is there something that you'd like to add? Okay. Patrick Gordon, you're next. Is there something you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Shannon Smith, is there something that you would like to tell us?
Yeah, I don't know if my time was used up with Jessica's comments or.
No, I think you're good if you want to say something.
I just want to say thank you for hosting another event so close to the last one and giving a chance for everybody to step forward and listen and comment. And I just want to say that this is a really uncomfortable topic. I think that it's easy, maybe not easy, but it's comfortable to stay where we are. It's comfortable to not critically, not look at it as close. It's easier to not put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. I attended Windsor High School a number of years ago, and I heard racist comments when I was in high school then. And I think that the ideas that have been brought forward to Principal Riley, that were brought forward to Principal Riley and the superintendent, as ideas to help bring change, to help bring real change, and to acknowledge the racism that exists in Windsor High School. I think that they were really good ideas, and I think that they're really necessary. And I think that the ongoing responses from the principal, former Principal Riley, just go to show that she doesn't get it. And to not get it when you're in a place of power and with a voice that reaches as far as hers does, I think it's really harmful. It's okay for us to not know when we're busy with life and it's hard, but she's an educator, she's a leader in town, and just can't get it, and that's not okay. It's not okay to not get it anymore. So that's all I want to say is good job with your decision.
Thank you very much. Tim Camerato, you are next if you have something that you'd like to say. Okay. Thank you for the text message saying that you are just here to listen. Let's see. I have called out everybody who is, I think everybody who is on my screen or on the sidebar. Is there anybody I didn't get to who would like to speak?
Alyssa Hebert wrote in the chat that she'd like to yield her time to me. Is that okay if I speak for 2 minutes?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I did see Erin Rockwood on the line too. So if Erin,
Erin said that she would prefer not to speak.
I've got you. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Amanda, it's all yours.
Okay. I am here in support of people who are brave enough to speak up and to hear and recognize their truth. I hope the school board is aware that there are employees worried about retribution who have stories to tell which involve Ms. Riley, but are choosing to stay silent out of fear of losing their job and insurance, etc. Perhaps this is something the board could look into in order to create an atmosphere where all that seek justice feel free to. That is also why we need leaders who don't react defensively, but encourage scrutiny, foster lifelong learning, and know when to apologize. Black Lives Matter is about human rights. It's not a for or against situation. Our community, and most importantly, our children, deserve a leader at the school who understands the value of their lives is not up to debate or convenience. A champion of justice who actively seeks to understand how to do better and thanks those who helped them get there, and who can truly be a role model in good times and in bad. Windsor deserves the best leaders we can find to help shape our children's hearts and minds. Thank you for allowing me this time to speak.
Thank you, Amanda. What is that a statement that you could email to me so I could put in the record?
Yes, that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to have a word? Anybody at all? I'm just going to check the chat thing just to be absolutely sure. Okay, hearing no more public comments, I'm going to take a motion to end or to go into executive session.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of exiting the public part of the meeting to go to executive session, please indicate so by saying aye.
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 Okay. David, I will ask you to turn off the recording.
Right. Did you ask for the I don't think you asked for the opposed vote, but I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Is there anybody who's opposed to ending the public part of the session in favor of going to executive session?
Okay. So that's unanimous. And I will stop recording and we'll say goodbye to our public and thank you.
Thank you all very, very much for your input. Every single bit of it is important to us.
And we'll keep you posted on future meetings.
1 p.m.